Imposter syndrome. This is the one which actually really confused me. So I was trying to understand it for the past couple days whilst I was wanting to make this video. And I realized that the whole premise of this channel is to change our identity and to actually combat imposter syndrome. So this is the thing which I've actually really been struggling to understand, is that to actually become a new person, to become this new identity, we're slowly moving our identity from one to another. And this is partly why this channel is it's so specific towards our actual journey, our actual goal, is that instead of doing cold turkey like we would have done ages ago, if that's how we were approaching this, then we wouldn't have as much of a problem with changing our identities. But the whole point of this channel is to really understand how to shift from one identity to another and actually break through that imposter syndrome without completely depleting, rejecting our previous self, who we were before. This is something which is, it's basically about integration. That's really what everything is about. And what I have really found with imposter syndrome is that in this channel, we're trying to understand how to change, to quit, to stop smoking, as opposed to why. Now, everyone talks about why. I mean, you've got it on cigarette packets. You've got, this kills you, you need to stop, basically. And I was really inspired from Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking, because that's something which I've really preached to, and I basically read his book like religion in terms of quitting smoking nicotine. And this really helps me. I read it over and over again. It took ages, but now it's in my head. I tell you, there's nothing which will bring me back to smoking without me feeling bad about myself with nicotine. And what this channel is about is basically making that into an education with weed as well, because there's no one out there who's actually talking about this stuff in a clear, concise manner, where it's not like all or nothing. That's completely understood with nicotine. To me, that's how I see nicotine. I see that's an all or nothing thing. But with weed, I see it as a balancing scenario, which no one talks about. I mean, even the Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Cannabis is terrible, man. At the end of the book, he talks about, and you're gonna quit this nightmare, bruv. It's not a nightmare. The whole point is that I'm stuck in this sort of how do I say it? It's sort of like a hallucination in some ways, and I wouldn't call that a nightmare, because there are nice colors to it too. So really what this channel is about is combating that imposter syndrome, and that's something which I've really struggled with right now. In the past week, I've actually had a real difficult sort of acceptance that I'm unable to complete what I've never been able to really do, which is to completely shift my identity. And what I've realized is that it comes down to incremental gains. So these little improvements that we're making them as we progress into moving from one identity to another. And it's not as simple as just letting go of something completely, unless you want to just completely change who you are as a person, which is not exactly what we want to do. Okay, so if you're here and you're really wanting to follow the same program that I'm creating, I'm making sure that it's going to be rock solid and it's going to be armor checked. It's going to be completely certain that what I've gone over has been checked, and it's going to be certain for you to follow with as well. And so that's breaking the imposter syndrome, incremental gains to become a new identity, and making sure that we're really making waves in this industry, because there aren't any waves being made from what I can see, from what I hear. There's no people taking this serious in the fact that they want to make sure there's actually something coming from this. Maybe over the years we'll be able to do something similar to Alan Carr, where we can create a system, a process that actually makes a massive change and evolution in the right direction, as opposed to steps backwards, You know, you might as well make the fucking thing illegal if that's how it is, bruv. You see what I mean? So let's make a difference. Let's break through this imposter syndrome. Incremental gains, like habits, we're building on top of, stacking and changing our identity, as opposed to being stuck in something which we are unable to get out of. So keep being a boss, constant never-ending improvement, and one love. Come on.